The Clark County Treasurer's Office collects and protects public funds for local governments, including the county, cities, ports, and school districts. Recently, we sat down with Treasurer Alishia Topper to talk about ways her office is assisting with lowering homebuyer down payments and providing property tax relief for those in need.
Hello, I'm Jim Demon with Clark County Close-Up. Thank you very much for meeting with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Jim.
Okay, so what are some of the main services provided by your office?
Oh, the Clark County Treasurer? Okay, my office, we have quite a few services that we provide to our community. I really like to put them into 4 distinct groups. One is the billing and collection of property taxes, which most people are familiar with, either on real property or business personal property. The second is we invest. So all the funds that we collect that aren't going to be used, we invest in the market so we can have a yield and interest earnings that we send back to the districts, and we invest a little over $1 billion. And then we manage debt, and a lot of that debt is on behalf of school districts when they go out for bond financing for new construction. We have about $1.4 billion in debt that we help manage annually. And then lastly, we are considered the public bank of the county. So we provide bank account services for all of the Clark County departments and also for some of our taxing districts. So we bill and collect, we manage debt, we invest, and we bank.
Okay. So are you elected?
I am elected, yes.
Okay.
So this office is a 4-year term. I was just re-elected. Thank you so much to all the voters in November's election. So I will be serving for the next 4 years.
And then what's your and the office's relationship with Clark County Council?
Yeah, so the Clark County Council is the governing body that oversees the county budget and policies. But as an independent elected official, the county truly is one of our customers. So we serve them as if we were serving a school district or a fire district or a library district. And we are housed in the Public Service Center, which is a county building, and they provide us human resources and IT assistance and equipment.
Okay. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges and opportunities facing your office?
Yeah, challenges. So the things I lose sleep over at night, people may have seen in the news, but cybersecurity and fraud is likely one of the biggest threats facing anyone who's in the fiscal and financial sector. And so that is something that we work with our banking partners on to ensure we have the highest levels of fraud security on all of our accounts, as well as working with IT to make sure that all of the firewalls and all of our teams are properly trained to prevent any kind of potential attacks.
Okay. Let's talk about property tax bills.
Okay.
On your typical bill, how many jurisdictions can be represented?
Yeah, it can vary depending on where you live because every taxing entity in our county has a boundary. So if you are in downtown Vancouver, you could have a dozen different taxing entities on your bill, which include the state schools tax, your city tax, port, library. It also includes the county roads, conservation fund. So it depends on where you live. And everyone will see a mosquito control district. We know that countywide.
Okay. When are property tax bills sent out?
So we try to send our first installment tax bills in February. And by law, we have to get them out by mid-March, but we try to get them out earlier. And then taxes aren't due until April 30th for first half.
Okay. And what are some options for people when they have to pay the tax bill? What are some options for them?
Well, we try to make paying your property taxes as easy as it is to pay any other bill. So we have online options. You can pay via phone. If you're paying with a credit card, there is a processing fee that our merchant services provider charges. But if you're using an ACH, like your routing number and bank account number, right out of your checking account, there's no cost. You can come down to the Public Service Center and pay in person. So we have trained staff prepared to answer questions and take payments. So you can pay online, you can pay by phone, you can pay in person, and you can also pay in the mail, by mail.
Great. On the Treasurer's Office website, clark.wa.gov/treasurer, there's a list of property tax relief options. Can you explain some of the programs and how they work, who can apply?
Yeah, thank you for recognizing that. That's a new page. As part of our outreach efforts to help struggling homeowners who may be delinquent, we've advocated at the state level to have legislation passed that allows for us to have one-time waivers of interest and penalty for property owners who are facing foreclosure or distraint. And sometimes that can be in the amount of thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how delinquent and how large those bills are. You have to income qualify in order to be a part of that program, and you can only apply once. So that's one of the qualifying factors. The other programs that are new, last year as a part of the American Rescue Plan Act, the ARPA funding that local governments received, we were able to get approval from the council to set aside $900,000 to help individuals facing foreclosure to help pay those taxes if they were impacted by COVID-19. So likely they would have been delinquent in 2020, 2021, 2022, maybe a loss of a job or maybe a sickness that was long-standing. They can apply, and then we will help them through the process to actually use those funds to pay for their delinquent property taxes.
Great. Recently, the county started to provide home buyer down payment assistance. Why is the county providing this service?
Great question, and this is a program that I'm personally really proud of and proud of our council for passing. They set aside $2 million out of the state and local fiscal recovery funds, which was also part of the coronavirus relief from the Department of Treasury, or U.S. Treasury. And we were able to say that we know that COVID and our market has been really difficult, especially for first-time home buyers, and especially those with lower incomes. Our median home prices have really escalated to be out of reach for many homeowners. So they allowed to have up to $60,000 as a one-time down payment assistance. It's in the form of a loan, almost like a second loan, but it's only 2% interest, and it's not required to be paid back until you refinance, pay off your loan, or in 30 years, whichever comes first. So it's a very low interest. And the way that you would qualify is right now the first half of the funding has already been granted. So we have homeowners that were able to buy their first-time homes. They use those funds. But we do have $1 million set aside for nonprofits. So nonprofits like Evergreen, Habitat for Humanity, Proud Ground, and a few others are able to get their clients and customers qualified to access those funds and maybe have the dream of home ownership. And so it really is about community and giving people opportunity who otherwise wouldn't have that generational wealth to be able to buy a home and then pass it on for future generations.
Wonderful, that's
Yeah.
great. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I think if people are interested in learning more about property taxes, you mentioned our website, clark.wa.gov/treasure. It's an incredible resource. We also have real live, very competent and professional team members on phones. People are welcome to call us anytime and we'll answer any questions they have. And just as a reminder, we're here to serve, and so reach out if you need us, and they can reach out to me personally as well.
And that number is 564-397-2252.
That's correct, yes.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jim. I appreciate it.